Just a pilot in his cockpit seated. Black leather on his ass, keep a hustler heated.
Okay, here we go.
Huh. Fabulous equipment. Best of the best.
I have air conditioning too.
Air conditioners.
Well, I suppose it is a bit much.
Shit, I'll take one. Hey, stop it. Hello?
Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So some of you might remember that scene from the movie Congo back in 1995. So in that movie they had these little, as you saw, these little portable air conditioners. And when I saw that I was, I don't know, 95. I was just starting high school. I was probably 13. I thought that was super cool and I was like imagining, oh man, next time I go camping I'm gonna get one of those portable air conditioners. Like, this portable air conditioner is super cool, and it was like tiny, and it didn't seem to have a power source. And much to my dismay, I found that no such even similar thing exists. There's no portable tent air conditioner, at least at the time. That's what this video is about. Such a product now exists, and it is kind of expensive, but once I saw it, you know, like I mentioned, I don't like the heat. Once I saw this product, I was like, I gotta get this. Like, this is gonna be a game changer. For camping, for outdoor events, for anything. Let me back the car out and so I can bring it in the garage and show you guys. This is the smart battery. So let me tell you a little bit about this thing. I'll link to the product and the specs and everything, but basically this smart battery is lithium ion. It's decently powerful and it will power the air conditioner for I think like 5 hours or something like that. Pretty long time. So this is the air conditioner itself. It's pretty small. Let me open it up and see what we got. Alright, so here it is. Got some instructions. Let's see what else we got. So there's the actual AC unit, and here is a venting duct. So you can vent the hot air away from wherever you're at. And I think this is the attachment that goes on the back to hook up the venting duct. Power supply. And here's some other stuff. So about this thing that's kind of unique. This is the DC adapter, and essentially you can hook this thing up to, it just runs off of 12 volts. I think they said it spikes up to 15 amps, and then I think it's continuous like 12 or something like that. So if you can hook this up to a battery, whatever, something portable, you know, besides the battery even, you could just run it for a long time. So if you can hook this up to your car battery or something like that, something that's going to run for a while and charge, you can run it off of any 12 volt source. So that's super cool. So if you want to camp and have this running in your tent all night, you would just need some sort of battery bank or, you know, some sort of battery pack. But, you know, pretty cool. So let's get a closer look at this unit here. It's zero breeze. I thought it was going to be blue just because all the other ones I looked at were blue, but it being white doesn't bother me at all. I know it's supposed to have the ability to like charge USB stuff, and it has a Bluetooth speaker, which is kind of dumb. I don't know why they would add something like that on here, but I guess just probably cost them almost nothing to throw it in, so you can say it has another feature. but supposedly the speaker sounds pretty terrible. But you know, the ability to charge through USB might be kind of handy. But look at that, that's basically it. There's the exhaust. And that's where your cold air is going to blow. Pretty awesome. Alright, so we're going to open up the battery. So for the pricing, this battery was like $300 and this was about $600. So this here is like a $900 setup. But you got to think, you know, if I'm working outside on the car, if we go camping, like if we're just at an event, like a school event or something like that, and it's just super hot outside and we're all just sitting outside, we can bring this and blow some cool air on us and we'll all stay cooler. So it's really cool. I mean, nothing like this has ever existed. So the applications are, you know, limitless. Like you can, I mean, spot cooling is something that I think a lot of people always wanted, but it was just no way to achieve it. Or even a car that doesn't have AC, you could put one of these in it and not have to do any crazy wiring. So pretty awesome. I mean, as long as it's, I assume you could power it through the through the alternator, so as long as the car was running, it would probably work fine. So that's an option too. If you got a race car and you don't want to like put a real AC in it, you can just get one of these and blow some cool air on your face and probably feel cool. But let's see how well it actually works. All right, and here's our smart battery. It's a good size. It's got a handle on it. I think it will stay up on its own too. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So just a battery, and from what I understand, I'm just looking at videos of these things online, you turn on the battery. Looks like this one's fully charged. You turn it on, and then it has to like run, like it has fans inside it. Which I don't see the fans, but like the battery actually has to be turned on, from what I understand. But anyway, let's try to fire this guy up. Let me just look at the instructions before I mess something up. With all the stuff it comes with. How you run it. So you need to run it flat with at least a 1.5 feet of space around the unit, and that's just so it can breathe and move around. That's pretty much to be expected. Most things are like that. So plugging it in, and just telling you to make sure the thing's not kinked, which of course it's a little tiny hose, so that doesn't surprise me. Band mode, playing music, water drainage. So since it is an actual air conditioner, so that's something to keep in mind. This is a real air conditioner. It's not a swamp cooler, evaporative, or nothing like that. It's actual AC, like real AC, compressor, condenser, all that good stuff. So it will make cold air in all conditions, even in high humidity, everything. It really does it. So see, these are the specs. This is what I was really interested in. So you see it takes R134A. So rated voltage, the current, 12.5 amps. So supposedly it takes 12.5 amps, but it will spike all the way up to 13 amps or 15 amps on startup. That's what my understanding was. But 12.5 amps isn't really all that much power. Wouldn't really call it like a little bit, but it's not a lot. And here's the battery manual. So 12 volts, 43 amp hour, or 477 watt hour, lithium ion polymer battery, and it weighs 7 pounds, 6.3 ounces. I know it has these connectors here, which correspond with connectors under this, there. Oh, it actually looks like I need to remove this. Peel off before using and peel off before using. So these are just shipping. All right, so that little thing is on the front. Should correspond right there. That looks like it. Okay, so you see the lights on. So I can turn on. There we go, look at that. Let me crank out some cool air. There it is, we're eating now. Put it on blast. Okay, it's been running for a few minutes. So just like at this distance, if you can see from there to me, I can feel a nice breeze of cool air. Like it feels awesome. Like I'm sitting here outside, it's like 90 degrees, but it's actually quite comfortable because I have air blowing on me that's cool. And I think that's like the cool thing about this. Like, so you think about like camping, like anytime like you're around stuff like where you don't like being hot, it's pretty awesome. Like it's pretty cool. A lot of money, but like, you know, if you're kind of bougie and you just don't like being hot, you like the whole world temperature controlled, this is the thing for you. Or the other big application that I was thinking of was like hurricane or like some sort of disaster. You know, there's a point where having cooling is almost like, you know, life support for, you know, for small kids and for old people and sick people, stuff like that. So this would be an option to provide some cooling for, like, you know, if you have you know, people that can't really get hot and there's a disaster of some sort, you can keep them cool with this, where there's not typically a lot of options that you can use something like this. Like this would even work with my little generator because it doesn't use very much power. This thing runs off of DC, which is really the cool thing about it. This is a DC device, meaning it runs off direct current, not, you know, the wall plug AC, which means it just runs off of 12 volts. You can run it off of a car battery. Lots of different possibilities. So again, I'm just chilling here. You guys can hear how loud it is. Just keep in mind I do have like a pretty directional mic. So, you know, you're getting the sound like probably as close to realistic as possible, with maybe it's probably louder than it actually is. Because in here, like, even right next to it, it wouldn't really stop me from having a conversation or anything. Like, it's fine. Like, it's just like a slight background noise buzz. So, not bad at all on the sound. The cooling, I'm still a little undecided on it. It definitely cools. It's not really like the, you know, the super holy grail cold that I was hoping for. So I'm seeing temps like, you know, depending on where I'm hitting, as low as like 75 degrees. So that's probably, you know, about around what we're getting out of here, maybe a little bit lower than 75 degrees. Which, you know, isn't too bad. It is 90 outside and it is very humid. You can come along to the back here and see how much we're drawing, or what kind of temps. So there you go, there you have it. 101, 102, 104. So definitely pushing out hot air on that side, cool air on this side. Because it's such a small device, you can just run it out in the open like this. Of course, you got to think of the law of energy conservation. You can't create or destroy energy, so all it essentially does is take the, you know, spits out the hot air on one side, the cold air on the other side. But in doing that, it uses power. It uses 15 amps of electricity, and that gets just transferred to heat. So if you use something like this or any air conditioner in an enclosed room where the heat can't escape out of the room, all you're gonna do is heat up the room. Like, which is okay. Like if you're in a big warehouse and you put this on you, blowing right at you, obviously that's not a big deal. Like, you know, you're not gonna heat up the entire warehouse. But, you know, if you're in a small bedroom or something like that, or in a tent, you definitely got to funnel the hot air out of the unit, or else it's just going to heat up your space. But for a tent, I can see this thing being perfect. Like this thing running all night, keeping a family cool. Man, I want to go camping in the heat so I can just brave through it with air conditioning. So I'm gonna put it on the kilowatt, but before we do that, let's take a look at this guy. So the output is 12.5 amps. So I'm sure this thing could spike higher than that. So that, just keep in mind that this is about what you'll be using is 12.5 amps. That is a lot of power supply. So just one final time, I'm kind of dreading turning this thing off because I'm so nice and chilly, cool here. Let's see what we're at. 73, 70, yeah, 73, 74. Definitely cooling. I mean, even as of sitting here, it's getting cooler continually. Yeah, so 73.4 is the lowest I've seen coming out of here. And keep in mind, it is still, you know, 90 outside roughly. So I turned it off and it's still doing something, so I'm assuming it's like you know, whatever it does when it turns off, cooling itself off, drying, using the dryer, something like that. Okay, there we go. So you see how that works? It's just like a little pressure thing and it pushes those leads out. All right, so the connector is right here, and then there's the drain. Also, it comes with a little hose for the drain so you can drain it out somewhere else. But since, you know, it is a real air conditioner, you have actual condensation coming off of it. All right, just powered up, just the lights. All right, turn the fan on. Turn the fan on high, but no air conditioning yet. With the fan just on high, we're using about 11 watts, 11.6, so around 11, we'll call it 11. And I'm gonna click on the compressor and we're gonna see this mofo start pounding out the power. There you have it. It's using about 140 watts. It's not even that much. So this is something like, you know, I just thought about that, like as far as like indoor use. I remember at work, girls would always bring those little heaters to like heat up their feet, and I always thought it was just absolutely crazy to run a heater in a room with an air conditioner running. But now this gives like guys or anyone who likes lower temperatures an option. So, you know, usually you just have to cool the entire room, and then people that want heaters can get heaters, so you have heaters running in your room. But with this, you can just run your own AC. So think about if you were in a warehouse or something like that. You can just give everybody a little AC, and it would cost a fortune, but I don't know. I just think this thing is super cool. Like, I'm so thrilled that I own this thing. Now keep in mind, it was about 900 bucks for the setup. This thing's about 600. And this thing's about 300. So you're looking at a $900 setup. So it's not cheap, but you know, I'm getting cool air. I've been sitting out here for a while with this thing blowing on me, and it's it's fantastic. It's like, I can't even describe how awesome it is. It's super cool. Actually, I'm gonna go get my wife to show her. So I brought it out to show you. So I brought my wife out here to let her review a little bit.
Let me see.
So you can kind of see the distance.
That's actually a lot cooler than I was actually expecting. That was gonna be kind of like a cool fan.
No, it's real.
It's not bad. It's actually, and it hasn't been on very long, right?
It's been on, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes now.
Yeah. But I mean, like, isn't the longer it's on, the colder it gets?
Yeah, it gets colder.
That's what I mean.
Eventually.
I can see that, like, while you're working, if you have it aimed at.
Imagine like the school, the kids events.
Like, yeah.
Like any of them. Baseball games.
Yeah, when it was really hot.
Imagine camping.
Oh, the kids do want to go camping.
Yeah, look, there's this little funnel thing.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And it funnels the air out of the tent. And you can have AC in your tent.
I like it. It actually, no, I feel it, like even not being close, like you can feel the colder air blowing at you.
Yeah, even at that distance, it's like comfortable.
It's nice.
Like you could probably sit there like all day and be comfortable.
I could.
Yeah.
I could. It's like a vacation.
Yeah.
Like hang out in the garage with the AC.
It actually works.
I wasn't sure about it, but no, it's actually nice.
Yeah.
Like my hand is a little bit cold from it.
Yeah, it's like actually blowing out some.
No, I'm impressed. Yeah. It's blowing out some nice air.
Let me see what it is now.
76.
Yeah, we're still talking in the mid 70s.
Yeah.
Maybe a low depending on what area we're hitting in there, but that's still pretty nice.
Yeah. So it's like really humid today, like the humidity.
Yeah,
is back.
it's super humid today.
Like, yeah, the humidity was gone for a while, and it is back in force today. So that's gonna hinder this a little bit, I think. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but
of course,
yeah, I will.
All right, well that's it for now. I just wanted to kind of show this device. This is super cool. I can use it when I'm working on the car and the camping. I mean, just limitless possibilities. I'm really happy with it. But I'll put a link to the description if you want to check it out. But I mean, I don't know about its reliability or anything like that, but for now I know it at least works pretty well. As you saw, it's drawing on high, everything on high at the plug. So in 120 volts, it's about 140, 150 watts, which isn't even that bad. So you can even run this inside, and it's not the end of the world. Not all that much power. So you happy with it?
I like it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be really good. I'm happy with it. Goodbye.
You're not so upset that I spent $900 on this little air conditioner?
What's $900? Seriously? I thought it was like 2 or 3.
No, this is $900 the whole setup.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's.
And I
Okay,
paid.
well then let me revise. Is Jet to see if it's worth $900.
Well, hold on. Okay,
it is nice.
this is $600.
Okay.
And then that is $300. The battery is $300. The battery you can run, it'll power the thing for like 5 hours.
So like that's what we would use at like the baseball game is the battery.
Yeah. Because otherwise, where are you gonna plug it in?
Yeah, well I was thinking.
That's what the 300 is. So
Was
it's
that
just
just
600 for this.
Okay.
And then 300 for the battery.
Then we'll see if it's worth 900 as we advance. Like, but I'd say it's good. I have hope. It's worth $900. I did not know it was that much. That's funny.
I didn't tell you it was $900.
I don't think so.
I told you I was gonna buy it, but I don't.
Yes, I don't think we talked about.
We
the price.
didn't
I was
discuss
like,
pricing.
It seemed like a good idea, so I was like, sure, do it. But that's funny.
Okay, well, there's that. Maybe it's good, but not worth $900.
It's like Top Gear and on that bombshell.
Yeah, and on that bombshell. But you can always rig up your own battery, so that's something to keep in
Yeah.
mind. All it needs is 12 volts, 12.5 amps. So I mean, theoretically, if I hooked it up to my 2 dead batteries over there, it would probably power this thing for a certain amount of time. Peace.
Pilot in his cockpit seated. Black leather on his ass, keep a hustler heated. Weed is engaged in the pavement. Rubber escorts like I'm seeking arrangement. Push the gas, escalate the gauges, escalate hits on the cam girls' pages, blazes, and hit 'em with a script full of sexy phrases.